One of the most controversial parts on a brand new stock Gladiator is the rear tail lights. And honestly, probably one of the most upsetting things is just how far and awkward these things protrude. It's probably one of those things in the Gladiator community. This is one of the first mods you make, is actually swapping out the factory tail lights. And we decided to go on Amazon, spend about $1,500, and we're gonna try out a bunch of different tail lights today, figure out which one we like the most, and also give you our feedback on which ones we picked up. We're gonna try and start from cheapest to most expensive. So the first ones we've got here are by Kiwi Master. That's the name of them. And these are gonna be a smoked tail light. So we've got two of them here. Everything is smoked. These are not a flush tail light, so everything kind of still sticks out, but we do have much more of a clean look. So we have obviously a smoked reflector and turn signal on the side, and then everything around is just like completely blacked out. I'm kind of excited to see how these look. We do have a plug and play connector. We've got our resistors here, which actually this one's really nice. It gives us brackets for the resistors too. So we can actually click these in and fasten them so that the heat source from the resistor is up and out of the way of any of the wiring. Some of the taillights we're gonna test today do use a resistor. So this bracket, you would bolt the resistor onto the top of it here, and then find a nice flat section in here to push this down on it. So something like this, you would push down right like that, Ryan. You kind of see that? I'm not gonna do it permanently, but this would mount the resistor out of the way and let the heat not touch anything important. That's super important with resistors, not to let them touch any of the wires. But let's plug this one in. So this plug does not have that red tab, it's just a regular one. And then we can see if you wouldn't mount that, Ryan, look at that. See how far that drops down?
Yeah.
You wanna mount that up out of the way. We're not even gonna have to tighten it up, because it'll just push in. Now the moment of truth, Ryan. You wanna try them out? All right, on the passenger side is the Kiwi Master, and then on the driver's side is factory. Let's turn them on. But those look pretty good. Yeah. These are at the time of filming, remember, all these prices are at the time of filming. These are like 115 bucks for a pair. That's pretty affordable. The marker light on the side works too. So there you got your little marker light on the side coming through the smoke section. But why don't we, I don't know, why don't we turn on the four ways and see how those look real quick? Anything working? Yeah, okay. Here's brake. And then you wanna see reverse. Now we're gonna be trying all these taillights today, but stay till the end because we will let you know which set we are keeping on the 25 Gladiator, because that's the whole point of this video, to try them out and then keep the one that we like the most. Next up to bat is by a company called MOBI Outdoors. Now, mind you, a lot of these company names might change by the time you order. Kinda, I would say more of a budget one if I can get them out of the box here. These were 125 bucks at the time of filming. These are more of a factory style smoke, so I think I'm actually gonna like these, because I do like the factory LED lights. I think in the red they look a little bit awkward. So you see you get more of the detail. Yeah. So this is like a factory LED set just smoked out, and then on the side, here's the difference. So I forgot about that. That's where blind spot monitoring would typically go, right here. So on that first set we just tried out, this is where it would go, so it wouldn't work. It doesn't look like there's plugs for like the fact to have the blind spot, but this is removable, this section, so you should be able to put your blind spot monitoring back into here. So once again, these include a bracket for the resistor. If not, this would be hanging down like crazy, so make sure you put that bracket in if you're keeping these on. Let's plug this thing in. Once again, no red clip on this one, so it still is fine, but let's pop it in and see what the fitment is. Like I was saying to Ryan off camera, we're just trying these right now too. So who knows how long they would last, up to 6 months. This one has a little bit of a casting error right here, so it's actually a little bit rough. Once again, they're 120 bucks at the time of filming, so not crazy expensive. But the real test is gonna be turning them on, so let's turn them on and compare them to the factory halogens. There we go. Let's get our running light on. Are they on? They're less bright. Yeah, that's how the factory border looks though. So like on the factory LED taillights, this is like a running light out here. And then these are gonna be your turn signal and brake light, and then that's your reverse.
Okay.
So let's try the four ways. I like that more than the last one. I like the upper, and I feel like that's safer. Like it's a bigger flash instead of the edge just going. But let me turn on the reverse light for you here, Ryan. Yeah? It looks like the factory LEDs, but obviously way cheaper. The factory LED taillights, I want to say, are like $500 a side. The one thing, the biggest caveat I want to say is just about that DOT approval. I'm not sure if all of these are. I know some of the ones we're going to get up to once the price point gets higher are, but these, they're smoked out. So if a cop really wants to mess with you, depending on your local or your state or your federal laws, they could. So a new category in a pretty small box for the taillights today. This is one, I forgot how cheap they were. I was really excited to take a look at. These are by Suparee, which I've actually heard that brand. We got some zip ties and things in here. But this is what I'm excited for, is the fact that these are flush mounted taillights. And the price point might surprise you. These are $119 at the time of filming, making them basically a third of the price of almost all of the other flush mounts on the market. The one thing I'm not as happy about, let's take a look before I complain about it. There's no brackets for the resistors. You want brackets for the resistors just to make sure that they're tucked in and out of the way, and there aren't any. So I would say that would probably be the biggest thing for me, because when you go to plug that in, look at how far that hangs down. But with that being said, I'm still excited about it. I'm getting less excited about it just because of that error and the fact that there was no brackets, but it's only 119 bucks. So this resistor, they actually include zip ties, and they tell you to just zip tie it back here. But the, I don't know, you'd want a resistor bracket. Let's try this out. This is the benefit, though, Ryan, of a flush mount. This is going to be your first look at. It looks way cleaner. It's like you're not protruding anymore. But I guess the real test is, what does it look like, though, lit up? Oh yeah, it does like boom, 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 and then it lights up. That's pretty trick. All right, you want to hold this? I'll do the turn signal. You got to get the first reactions back here. Camera guy never dies. That's what they say. So you get the first reaction. But let's see what the signals look like. So if you have these running lights on, it would be harder to see. But let me show you something. I think if I turn the running light off, like if it was during the daytime, that's probably better. I don't know, not bad. Let me turn on the reverse lights and see what happens. These are also blind spot compatible, so I think if they fix those little tweaks, let's try this reverse light. Well, I could see it lighting up your body, so it seemed pretty bright. With this kind of taillight, I feel like you almost need to see both sides on to really get a good perspective. What does it look like from the back, though? It gives it a more aggressive look in the back. I mean, for 110, 120 bucks, I'm curious to see how they would hold up over time. Let's turn those flashers on. I do like that the turn signal goes on the side, though. I think that's really badass. Next up to bat, we're getting a little bit more expensive. Over 200 bucks on these. These are the WOLFSTORM. So if you ever wonder what a storm of wolves look like, it's these taillights right here. You ever drive your Jeep Gladiator through a storm of wolves? These WOLFSTORM taillights are the heavier dutier taillights for your Gladiator. They're gonna fit a 2025 and make your Jeep be able to drive through a dang storm of wolves. What's neat about this is this actually has the blind spot harness for it here, so that's what this is for. And what's neat about this one as well is the fact that that's the resistor right there. So it's built in, it does say hot, but it's attached to the back of it. So it's already got a secure mounting location. These will accept, from what I can tell, the blind spot monitor on here. Construction looks pretty decent. It looks pretty solid on the back, but this is pretty cool. This design on here, these actually say DOT SAE on them as well. So that's one of the first ones that we've actually bumped into today that have said that. So WOLFSTORM coming up pretty big here. You can actually disconnect the resistor by unplugging this connection. Now what makes that so huge is that if you've got a factory LED Jeep, you do not need a resistor. It's already used to the low amperage of an LED, as well as the fact if you've got a taser or if you just don't care if it hyper flashes on the dash. Personally, for me, I'd be disconnecting this. So you just depress on that and disconnect it. I want to try it. So we're going to leave it disconnected and see what happens on this. But yeah, you can actually disconnect the resistor. This gets like way more upgraded in my book because I really like the fact that you have the ability to not have to cut it. So there we just plug that in. We don't have blind spots, so I would probably zip tie out of the way if we were going to leave this in. And then we can just tuck all this on and... Startup sequence?
No startup sequence.
No. Okay, all right, I see it. So there's no border light like the other ones. Like the border around here isn't lit up, but this is lit up around the edge, kind of like that. It's like a clean light, so you can't see the diodes. I think the turn signals are amber.
Let's see them.
Let's try them out. Are they amber?
Oh, those are, wow, okay.
Are they sequential?
Yeah.
So that's nice. That's a better, for me, a better visibility. Because when you have your running lights on, I can see that. I can tell you're turning a lot easier with that. Now let's try the reverse light, see what that looks like. Not bad. Looks a heck of a lot better than the stock ones. When you put those next to side by side, I like these.
Yeah.
I feel like the wiring quality is a little bit better. I feel like the resistor being unpluggable is nice. And you can get them in like red. This is clear. You can get them in red, clear, or smoked. But these do say DOT SAE on them, so they are DOT and SAE approved. Next one up to bat, one of our favorite brands and leaders in tail light with EMC, MIbahe. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's MIbahe, and these are available. Now these fit your 18 and up Wrangler LED tail light, but here's the photo of a Gladiator. So are they gonna work? We're gonna find out today. I'm not gonna give too much crap about these because it says JT up top here, it says USA plug, but these things are heavy. Like this box is probably the heaviest box that I've picked up. It has an S-shaped design. It says non-destructive installation, which I like. I always like to read some of this wording. Okay, I'm liking this already. This got a whole circuit board, the resistor, everything built in, all into the back of the housing. That's pretty big stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you've seen the other ones we did today. The resistors are hanging down, they gotta do this. These are $200, so we're up a little bit higher on it. I don't think they're blind spot compatible from what I can tell because you have a reflector right over here, but one plug too. One clean plug with sheathing on it. MIbahe, get out of here. You're impressing me right now. But let's see. I mean, let's see. Let's not judge too much. They're bigger. They're bigger even. Like this protrudes out further. See if it has a start. It better, gosh dang, have a startup configuration with that big of a computer in the back.
No.
Really? I don't know. Like what? It's heavy duty. I like that. But what's just what? I don't know. I mean, and this is all purely look for us. Like the quality of it, I would say out of all the ones that we picked up today, it's the heaviest. This feels the most durable. So and it feels that way. It could burn out in a second. You know, I don't know. But there's no hanging down resistors. There's no other stuff. It doesn't seem like it'll work with blind spot monitoring. I could be wrong. It's all subjective. Just the S, whatever this is. I feel like if they would keep the build quality and just maybe do like a border and do it like center stuff. But this is like, when we're going for more off-road capability, this is wider. That's better. That looks more aggressive. I don't know. Now I don't hate it. Now I don't want to throw up in my mouth like some people say about some stuff we do. The other ones I don't think I needed to see both. I either liked them or I didn't. This one is like, this taillights are bright. I mean, it's flashing. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty bright.
but if you're going for the look, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It sticks out way farther. So, arguably one of the most popular / controversial in the Jeep community, the Oracle flush mount LED taillights. We're starting to get up into that $350 mark. So these are one of the most expensive ones that you can get. They are compatible with both LED halogen taillights. One big thing for them is I actually have something to read on the box, and it's not just a little paper sheet. Designed and engineered in the US, flush mount, factory sensor compatible, high power reverse light compatible with base and LED packages. But they are designed and engineered in the US. I've heard all sorts of mixed reviews about these. I've never installed a set though. Okay, well, already right out of the box, we got a little bit of instructions too. I am seeing, they're a very clean looking taillight though. These probably are they're a good looking taillight. It looks matte, very OEM around the edge here, which I'm a big fan of. But let's take a look at these and dive a little bit in. I think if you're spending more, you want a little bit more review of it. So at $350, you do see some sheathing on these wires. So there's some sheathing on this, sheathing on that. You've got your blind spot monitoring. You can pull this off and pop that in. From what I've been hearing, it works well, but it's not the same location as your factory one, so it doesn't catch everything. So we are going to be installing these today, and I will arguably say that Ryan probably prefers these the most out of any of the taillights we've tested. We have one more coming in, and we're going to have that in this video, so who knows, your whole opinion could change. But one thing about these, we've just read a lot of forum reviews on the Gladiator forums, on the Wrangler forums, is that people do love these lights, but sometimes they go bad. Whether it's a little bit of the LED, whether it's a little bit of section of them, they do have that chance. I have read that Oracle takes care of you pretty well with the warranty stuff. I'm just curious at this price point, if we run them, we'll just give you our honest feedback because Oracle didn't give us these. We ordered them on Amazon. Obviously, if we were to leave these permanently mounted, we would put the 3M there and stick those out of the way. I do like that it has the red locking tab. We're just gonna set all this fun stuff in. I just read too, you only need to use the resistor there for the reverse light if it doesn't stay on for you. So let's keep these in there. Okay, so you can push these in with those studs, and then you would have to attach the screws in there. They don't have that ball on the end, so that's a little bit interesting. So you can get them in pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they look more OEM style than anything we've had. I think when you look at like the plastics, the actual these probably are reflectors in here too. They're big. I mean, they do stick out a little bit. They're not completely flush. I feel like the other ones were a little bit flusher. Now I don't have them bolted in either, so these would go in a little bit further here, like that. So that would probably suck it in a little bit more. But the fact that they work with blind spot monitoring, all that fun stuff. Let's turn on the turn signals. we've never bought a set of these, surprisingly, for any of our Jeeps. Let's turn on the four ways. What do the four ways do? I mean, they're probably brighter than most of the other ones we messed with today. And let's try reverse light. They said if the reverse light goes off, then you need that resistor because your Jeep senses that it's probably a lot less power than a halogen one. That's the only thing I was just nervous about what we read online, but the build quality is definitely here for these, so you're getting what you pay for, and also it's a US-based company. So they're designed, engineered, and then the warranty department is here in the US, troubleshooting, all that fun stuff. So that would be arguably what I would pay for, is having someone here to fix it if something goes wrong. I think it kind of rounds out the backside too. It gives them more of a truck look as well. I just noticed this. See how they're like a little bit brighter here and here?
Yeah.
Just as like a rear marker, because the other ones had the same kind of texture and consistency around. These are also reflective too. So I didn't see, I imagine they say DOT SAE. I don't know. So are they DOT approved? Are they road legal? Because they would, normally you'd have something like this, right? SAE, AIP, FCA on a 20 JT, but it has the SAE marking. Most of the other ones that we also played with today have that. So I think even if we pull out like the WOLFSTORM ones, see that? DOT SAE. These actually say 20 JT, just like the thing, but these are DOT SAE approved. I don't know. So are they or not? Will you get pulled over for those? I doubt it. They look really clean, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't have any of those stampings on it. Last up, we couldn't wait to get these in. Amazon dropped them off last night at 9 o'clock. The long dings. These are long ding Gladiator flush mount taillights. It says it will only fit up to a 24. We're gonna try that today. They'll fit fine, I'm sure, on a 25. These are the ones I was most excited about. They look to me a flush mount, clean border, startup sequence, amber turn signals. I think they got it all going on. They are $350. So they're right up there with the Oracles, but I don't know. I'm excited to see these. I have not seen one like this. I actually looked up the brand to see if they made it for a Wrangler. They do not, but these I'm excited to see, Ryan. I restrained myself last night because I was going to open them up without you. Oh, yeah. I think these are going to be nice, dude. All right, let's see, because we got a lot going on back here.
Are they smoked?
They're like smoked. They've got your adaptive cruise control plug. They've got, okay, yeah, these are looking nice. I believe, looks like adaptive cruise control will bolt in there because they have the plug. Bro.
Those, yeah.
They've got, look at this. They've got the resistor in a plastic encapsulated case with a 3M adhesive on the back, and it's disconnectable. So I don't need to leave the resistor on. I can disconnect it like this. It's got a secondary plug, and this one there was actually something, there's like a secondary harness here to connect them to give you like a high power brake light function, or like it ties in. There's like something else that this will do. So I'm curious to see what this actually does, but dude, the overall look of these right away though. Now, these have not been tested before, so are they gonna be quality? Are they gonna be junk? They seem like they're pretty quality so far. They say DOT SAE on them. That's a big one right away, DOT SAE on here. This is an extra little piece. I gotta see if there's any instructions, which I guess there's not, because there's this secondary harness, and I think they said it was for like it's like a high power, something like a high power brake light or high power something, because there's an actual extra plug that goes into here. So maybe we'll put both of them on, and we'll put that, because it plugs in on one of these sides and then goes over. I don't know. I'm kind of curious as to what that goes into. So of course, same thing with the resistor here. If we're leaving these permanently on, we'll stick it up and out of the way. But let's go ahead and plug the passenger side in. These also have the red locking tab, which is nice. I cannot wait, Ryan, to try these out. These were probably the most exciting ones. I mean, the WOLFSTORMs were really nice, but clean around the edge too.
Yeah.
The only thing I've seen is a little bit of gap here in between this polycarbonate and that, but it looks like its seam is all the way around. Here's the fun part for me. All right, long ding. All right, turn that 4-ways on quick. Turn them 4-ways on. Oh, they're amber. That looks so good. Is the brake red? The amber is lighting up.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
But we didn't plug that thing in yet, though.
I think that has something to do with it.
I know it does. All right. So this comes with this extra harness here, which you actually go pop this little center section off. It just to press down on this, it's right in the center here. I was trying to figure out where it went. I actually pulled off the entire clip here. So this gets unplugged. It's got an adapter. That goes in, and then that goes back in. And let's just grab the other taillight and see, I guess maybe we'll, I don't know, should we run it over to this taillight? Because this one's like plugged in. Okay, I get it now. All right, so your running lights are on, turn signals are on. Hit the brakes. Oh, yeah. So the brake is lighting up those bars red. Amber for the turn signal, but the brake is lighting up. Yeah, yep. That startup sequence on both sides. Yeah, that looked cool. That 4-ways?
Yep.
That looks great. They're both doing that amber, going like that. Oh, yeah.
Let me do the brake light.
All right, turn off 4-ways, do brake. Okay, yeah, and then reverse. Bam! Reverse is nice too. And now I guess, yeah, they look good. These are my favorite. All right, guys, so let's close this video out today, but let's talk a little bit about what we tried out today. Obviously, we ordered 7 different sets of taillights to try out on our Jeep Gladiator JT, and the reason we ordered so many was not only so we could test which ones we like the best for the juice build, but also to show you guys a little bit more of an insight on what ones might be good for your Jeep Gladiator. Not many people are gonna order this many sets, try them out, and then show you what they look like, but we tried to order a wide array of different taillights, price points, as well as the flush mount versus the standard mount. Honestly, we like the WOLFSTORMs if we were going with a standard mount taillight. Those seemed very high quality build. They were DOT. They offer a couple different variations of smoked, clear lens, red lens, etc. But the other ones, the Kiwi Masters at $100 price point, it wasn't bad. I mean, $100, you break a taillight, that's a lot cheaper to do a pair of them than to buy a factory Mopar one. We tried the flush mounted lights. We wanted to look at those Suparees, which were about $100. They had a little bit of their own issues, right? They were missing mounting brackets for the resistors. And then we tried the Oracles, which those looked great. Ryan, you like the Oracles, but then we ended up with these. And these are, I can't even say the manufacturer so many times. These are made by Longding, and I'm not even joking, but I think these are a home run right now. Now, I want to leave the caveat with right now because I don't know how long they're going to last. We've never seen these before. So are they going to burn out in a week? Are they going to burn out in a month? Or are they going to last for a few years? We did this video before on trying out headlights. And just so you guys know for that, Ryan has left those Amazon headlights in his Jeep for about a year and 4 months. He's had them in for 16 months and you've had no problems with them. They're still working good, they're still looking good. So is this gonna be one of those products? We will give you an update on that. But what we wanted to try out with this was just see what fit with the build, see what we liked, and then also just give you guys the opportunity to check out what we were installing today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't mind, definitely leave a comment below which was your favorite taillight. And of course, we will leave all the links in the description as well as the pinned comment. And if you click on any of the links, it does help support the channel. It doesn't charge you anything extra, but these are all available right now on Amazon at the time of filming. These are really cool though. So I'm excited for the rest of this build. Maybe we'll have to try out some more headlights on this Gladiator because these are the factory halogens. Until next time though, my name is Matt, Ryan's behind the camera, and we want you to get out there and earn yours.